Just moved into my new apartment here in South America. Gonna be staying here for the next few months. And I was having a conversation with my friend about what actually got me to where I'm at today. Because most people would say I'm doing pretty well. I'm 20 years old. I'm able to travel around. This is a pretty nice apartment that I'm gonna be staying in. And I realized that it comes down to one thing that I think was the biggest key factor to my success. And I honestly don't hear anyone ever talk about this, because most of the time that this subject is covered, everyone talks about how it's negative, but depression is actually what changed my life and made me successful and rich at a young age. So if there's someone out there like my younger self watching this is gonna be able to change your life, because whenever I was in that state of mind, I couldn't see this, but now I realize it's literally the biggest key to my success now. And the reason is because if you just think about what is depression, depression simply means that you're unhappy and discontent with your current situation, with your life. So the example I was giving my friend, and I'm sure some of you guys have heard this before, if you touch a stove and it's warm, but it's not hot enough for you to feel a ton of pain, it's a little bit painful, a little bit uncomfortable, but you can keep your hand on there. Most likely, if it's an inconvenience, you'll probably just leave your hand on there. But if you put your hand on a stove and it's so hot that you physically can't keep your hand on there anymore, that's whenever you're gonna move it. It's gonna force you to move. So if you're out there watching this and you genuinely think you have depression and you're so unhappy with your life, like I was, to where you don't wanna be alive, you're actually extremely lucky, because this is the thing that actually forced me to start making a change with my life, because I hated my life so much that I literally didn't want to be alive anymore. So it made me reflect and think about why I hated my life so much. Because if you ever meet anyone with depression, or if you're watching this and you think you have depression, I guarantee there are some points in your life when you're not depressed. Whether you're on vacation, whether you're hanging out with a group of friends that you really like, or doing something that's actually cool, most likely you're not depressed in that moment. So what that means is depression isn't some permanent mental condition that you're never gonna be able to get out of. It's simply your body telling you that you have a shit life and that you need to change. So what I realized is that there's certain things I was very unhappy about. I wasn't respected. I didn't like the body that I had. I didn't like my life, and that came down to not having enough money. So what did I do? I figured out, what can I actually do to change my life? And I used those strong emotions of hating my current position to actually make that change. So I started going to the gym every day consistently, because I was so unhappy and insecure with my body that that's what motivated me. I wasn't respected, so I needed to make more money, become a better person, improve myself. So I started reading books, learning about money, trying new businesses. And this is what led me to where I'm at today, is because that initial depression was enough motivation to actually get me to change and do the things that I didn't want to do, so that I can make my life better. And not only that, if you have depression, this just means that you have high standards, because you're probably unhappy with the actions that most people undertake on a day-to-day basis. I don't like doing the normal shit that makes people happy. Some people like to sit around, take drugs, drink beers, and just sit on the couch and watch fucking sports or something with their friends. And if that's you, that's fine, but I've never been happy with that. I have very high standards. For me to actually feel good about what I'm doing, I have to have a high level experience, whether it's seeing a new country, taking care of my family, taking care of someone that I love, or like changing someone's life. All of that stuff is actually what I find satisfaction in. So if I'm not able to do those sort of things, I can't just sit around and do what normal people do, like watch TV. I have to be working so that I can start getting new levels and new experiences in life. So, biggest thing that you guys should just understand is that if you are in a situation like I was, where you're literally so unhappy with your life that you don't want to be alive, don't think of it as something that's negative. Realize that It's energy that you can take and put into something useful. Like I said, I'm literally 20 years old, and this is what speed ran my progress because it forced me to actually make a change. So now I'm here and my nice apartment in Columbia, you can see I got a pretty decent view. And most people would love to live this sort of lifestyle, especially at any age. I was able to do it at 20. So if you're watching this, just understand that it's not a permanent mental condition. And the reason that I wanted to share this is because I've personally been able to apply these principles and change my life. And now I realize that depression isn't something that you're just permanently stuck with. So if this video can even reach one person and resonate with one or two people out there who are able to actually change their lives, then that's all I care about. Because if I was able to be told this whenever I was younger, it would have made me realize it much sooner, and I probably would have been where I'm at today years before. And there's just no better feeling from going from that mental state to actually being happy and content and proud of yourself. And there's nothing better, because if I didn't have depression back then, I wouldn't know how low and how bad that feels, and I wouldn't feel as good about where I'm at today. So it's the biggest advantage that you guys can have, and hopefully a few of you people out there can actually understand what I'm trying to say and change your life with it. That's all I wanted to come on here and say. So hopefully it can help some of you guys, and I'll be making a lot more videos. So I'll see you guys in the next one.